The ground beneath the British monarchy didn't just shift today. It completely shattered, leaving the entire United Kingdom in an absolute state of paralyzed disbelief. What if I told you that a single highly confidential document signed in the dead of night inside the deepest corridors of Buckingham Palace has just rewritten royal history forever? Think about it. Britain has survived devastating royal departures, explosive late-night television interviews, and unparalleled family betrayals. But absolutely nothing, not a single historical crisis, prepared the nation for the earth-shattering decree King Charles III just handed down regarding his grandchildren living thousands of miles away in California. This is not a minor administrative tweak, a temporary royal timeout, or a gentle warning shot fired across the Atlantic Ocean. No, this is the ultimate irreversible hammer blow that completely severs Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet from the historic fabric of the crown. We are talking about a total uncompromising institutional erasure that has sent shockwaves through Parliament and left Montecito in total chaotic meltdown. Did King Charles finally reach his absolute breaking point with the Sussexes, or is this a calculated, cold-blooded survival tactic for a modern monarchy that is running out of patience? The details leaking out of London right now are so incredibly scandalous, so dripping with palace intrigue, that they sound like a rejected Hollywood script. But it is happening, it is real, and the consequences are landing hard across 2 continents. Before we strip away the PR lies and expose the brutal, unvarnished truth behind this unprecedented palace warfare, you need to hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Trust me, you cannot afford to miss a single second of this breaking royal catastrophe. The legal machinery behind this historic eviction began turning long before the first public announcement leaked to the press, originating from a deeply classified, highly restrictive palace review that insiders are calling the ultimate reckoning. For months, the quiet halls of Windsor and Buckingham Palace were buzzing with a distinct, sharp tension as a select group of constitutional lawyers, high-ranking courtiers, and senior members of the royal family held late-night sessions to determine the fate of 2 children who have barely even stepped foot on British soil. King Charles III had reportedly reached a state of absolute exhaustion regarding the ongoing geopolitical reality show broadcasting directly from Montecito, California, and decided that the time for soft diplomacy, polite birthday wishes, and transatlantic Zoom calls was officially over. This explosive scandal involves the ultimate clash between absolute historic privilege and modern celebrity defiance, placing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle right back into the center of an institutional hurricane that makes their previous Netflix documentaries look like a peaceful walk in the park. The central controversy stems from a fundamental question that has plagued the House of Windsor ever since the dramatic Sussex departure. Can you truly maintain a valid, legally recognized stake in the future governance of a nation, while actively building a commercial entertainment empire in a completely foreign country? The palace has officially decided that the answer is a resounding, unyielding no, viewing the continued inclusion of Archie and Lilibet in the official line of succession as an unsustainable contradiction that risks turning the crown into a mere marketing tool for global influencers. This is a massive, unprecedented escalation from past incidents where the Duke and Duchess were simply asked to give up their official royal duties and stop using their His and Her Royal Highness titles in commercial ventures. Back then, the public assumed that the boundaries had been firmly established, but behind the scenes, the lingering status of the children remained a major point of contention, an unresolved constitutional loophole that the king has now closed with absolute brutality. The lingering resentment from the Oprah Winfrey interview, the explosive pages of the memoir Spare, and the endless series of tactical press leaks from both sides of the Atlantic had already decimated the family's reputation, leaving the British public deeply cynical about any potential for a future reconciliation. By targeting the children's official status, King Charles has effectively signaled that the family ties are not just frayed. They are permanently severed under the law, creating a massive reputational disaster that the Sussex PR team never saw coming. The sheer scale of this scandal has completely blindsided royal commentators who spent years arguing that the king would never be cruel enough to alienate his own grandchildren, proving that when the survival of the crown is at stake, personal affection is immediately sacrificed. Emphatic murmurs running through the corridors of power suggest that this is merely the first phase of a much larger, highly aggressive campaign to completely streamline the monarchy, a total structural purge designed to ensure that only working tax-paying royals who actively serve the British public are allowed to hold any official rank or recognition. The sheer suspense surrounding this decision has left palace staff completely silent, terrified of leaking the wrong detail to a ravenous global media apparatus that has spent the last 48 hours dissecting every single word of the official decree. Insiders claim that the king spent days locked inside his private study, refusing to take calls from his youngest son while the final, devastating legal language was drafted, ensuring that there was absolutely no room for negotiation, compromise, or legal appeal. This was a calculated, cold-blooded institutional strike intended to re-establish total control over the narrative of the monarchy, reinforcing the idea that royal status is an immense burden of public service, rather than an open-ended privilege to be exploited from a luxury mansion in California. The sheer shock factor of this move has sent a massive wave of panic through the entertainment industry, where the Sussex brand relies heavily on their direct, undeniable connection to the British throne to secure multi-million-dollar production deals and high-profile public appearances. Without that constitutional anchor, without that official placement on the royal roster, the commercial value of their titles begins to collapse, exposing the brutal reality that the crown can give, and the crown can take away with a single stroke of a pen. As the public tries to process the immense gravity of this announcement, the focus immediately shifts to the hidden, highly controversial details of how this decision was actually reached, exposing a series of secret meetings, anonymous palace briefings, and deep state constitutional maneuvers that have been hidden from the public eye for nearly a year. Rumors are swirling that a highly secretive, deeply alarming palace dossier titled Project Continuity was presented to the king by a council of senior state officials, outlining the extreme long-term risks of leaving the succession list unchanged, while the Sussex children grow up entirely under the influence of American celebrity culture. The report allegedly argued that allowing individuals with absolutely no connection to the British state, no education in royal history, and no allegiance to the Church of England to remain next in line for the throne was a massive national security risk and a direct insult to the British public. This classified investigation didn't just focus on the theoretical future. It reportedly took a long, hard look at the current lifestyle, public statements, and financial arrangements of the Sussex household, concluding that the commercialization of the royal brand had reached an unacceptable tipping point. Anonymous sources deep within the financial departments of the palace have leaked astonishing details about the sheer panic this report caused, suggesting that the king was left with no choice but to draw a hard, permanent line in the sand before the situation devolved into total institutional chaos. The tension inside the palace was mirrored by a growing impatience within the British government, with several members of parliament quietly drafting private members' bills to force the palace's hand if the monarch refused to act against his own family members. This pressure from the state turned a private family disagreement into a full-blown constitutional crisis, forcing the king to prioritize his role as sovereign over his role as a grandfather, a devastating choice that has permanently altered the internal dynamics of the Windsor dynasty. The immediate aftermath of this realization has created an atmosphere of pure suspense, with the world waiting to see how the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will respond to what can only be described as a total institutional execution of their children's royal identity. The narrative of the modern monarchy has always been defined by its ability to adapt and survive, but this particular move represents a radical, highly aggressive departure from tradition, showing that the palace is now willing to play dirty to protect its global reputation. Every single past grievance, every single public insult, and every single broken boundary over the last 6 years has built up to this exact moment, turning a slow-burning family feud into a catastrophic institutional war that will be studied by historians for decades to come. The public is left wondering how a family could reach such a dark, unyielding point of no return, where two innocent children are used as the ultimate collateral damage in a bitter geopolitical chess match between London and California. The answer lies deep within the highly complex, incredibly secretive world of palace machinery, where every single title, every single line of code on the official website, and every single public acknowledgement carries the immense weight of state authority. By removing that authority, King Charles has sent a chilling message to the entire world. The Sussex era within the British monarchy is officially, legally, and permanently over, and the consequences of this total exile are already beginning to ripple across the globe, setting the stage for a spectacular, highly volatile public fallout that will push both sides of this fractured family to their absolute limits, as the secret investigations and leaked reports continue to paint a picture of absolute chaos behind closed doors. This absolute state of chaos behind closed doors quickly transformed from a private palace crisis into a public spectacle of epic proportions, as the first highly confidential investigative findings began trickling out to the international press. According to a series of shocking, highly classified reports allegedly leaked from the inner circles of the Privy Council, the palace had been conducting a secret, year-long financial and behavioral audit of the Montecito household to justify this unprecedented constitutional eviction. These explosive, anonymous documents suggest that high-ranking state officials were becoming deeply alarmed by what they described as a total reckless exploitation of royal prestige for corporate gain, detailing an astonishing pattern of lavish spending, questionable financial arrangements, and a complete disregard for traditional institutional boundaries. The leaked reports claim that palace investigators spent months tracking the Sussexes' commercial ventures, digital media contracts, and high-profile international tours, compiling a massive dossier that ultimately framed Archie and Lilibet's royal status as an active liability to the British taxpayer. Courtiers inside the palace walls began whispering about anonymous sources who claimed that the king was presented with undeniable evidence, showing how the children's royal titles were being positioned as central marketing assets in multi-million-dollar entertainment deals, transforming ancient constitutional honors into mere commodities for a global audience. The sheer scale of this alleged corruption and abuse of power, as described by these shadowy palace insiders, sent a massive shockwave through the British establishment, with critics immediately accusing the California couple of trying to run a parallel corporate monarchy that answers to no one but Hollywood executives. Public reactions across the United Kingdom exploded into a fierce, highly polarized debate the exact second these sensational details hit the morning headlines. But now I want to hear from you. Whose side are you actually on in this absolute palace catastrophe? Did King Charles make the right move by protecting the crown and demanding service over privilege? Or was this a cold-blooded, vindictive act of a grandfather turning family drama into a public execution of his own grandchildren's identity? Is Harry justified in launching a scorched-earth legal war against his own father? Or should the Sussexes finally drop the royal titles and move on with their Hollywood lives once and for all? Drop your thoughts, your theories, and your absolute wildest predictions in the comments section below. I want to see a massive debate down there. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and uncover the deep palace secrets the mainstream media is completely terrified to touch, you need to hit that like button right now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications, so you never miss a single second of this unfolding historical crisis. The crown is fracturing, the secrets are leaking, and we will be right here exposing every single dirty detail. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the very next breaking update.